Good evening. Hopefully you are you can see and hear me, because I haven't really tested everything that's working. As per usual, I was a bit late getting set up and realised that my laptop was all not charged up at all, so that's on a bare minimum charge, because as soon as I plug it in the screen goes blank, so I'm just going to leave that open and hopefully we get about 50 minutes out of it before it says I've got an hour and 4 minutes of battery time left on the laptop. I don't believe it for 1 second. Evening, David. Back on ship at 144p. You may not be able to see much tonight then. Hi Kangaroo. Good to see you here again tonight. Or this afternoon in your case. I think it's afternoon over there. Peter. Welcome to you, John. Hello. Nice to see all the regulars in. Evening, Justin. Good to see you as well. Be seeing a bit of you soon. September? Was it September time? I don't know. I've lost track. Yes. Anyhow, and Paul is out there as well. Who? He's not actually going to appear in today's video, but he was out there whilst I was making the data we're going to be looking at today. So there you go. If you probably have already seen, if you have subscribed to my channel, you will have seen this week's video, which was my side of the Thomas Eaton meetup, of me showing him how to do ICM and all that malarkey, and basically him telling me, well, me and seeing how he shoots videos, which was quite eye-opening, to be honest. Really insightful. So yeah, I learnt a lot from just observing how he does his vlogging kind of stuff. So yes, thank you to Thomas for being part of that video that we shot a couple of months ago. It just takes me ages to get around to watching these things. Evening to Ragnar over in Norway. Good to see you, Paul. It hasn't stopped raining yet, Paul. It is still. There was a good heavy shower earlier on today. Still pretty wet. September the 14th. Yes, that's the date. It is, isn't it, Justin? Not long at all. I'm actually quite glad it's that date because it means I get out of the last game of cricket for the season as well. Good stuff. The Heaton video was great. Well, maybe I wouldn't go that far. I stressed over it for a few days, I must admit. And even now, there's a few things that annoy me about it. But can't be perfectionists when you're as bad at filmmaking as me. So, I will apologise now. It feels like I am coming down with some kind of sinusy thing. I've got a bit of a tickle in the throat, so my voice might give up at some stage. Randomly later on, so we will just kind of crack on before it does actually go. But I have got my customary drink of orange juice just to lubricate the vocal cords, so we'll keep it going as long as I can. One small thing I'm saying small thing to notice, if you're out there, please do send your best wishes to Greg Whitten, who had a very nasty fall at, I think, at the weekend or the back end of last week. Basically shattered his knee, and he's currently laid up in hospital having his kneecap put back in place and the tendons and all that sorted out. So unfortunately, you might know Greg, he's got his own YouTube channel. If you only do YouTube out there. If not, he's a very talented landscape photographer, loves these mountains and all that kind of stuff, and unfortunately he's going to be on crutches for 6 months, and it's going to be a good year before he's back up a mountain. So really feeling for Greg. And then just to make things worse, he lost his mother-in-law So condolences to the Witten household, and get well soon, Greg. Wishing you all the best, sir. So yeah, right, that's that misery out the way. We will crack on and get some images made. So yeah, basically the outline for tonight is myself and Paul and David Byrne, who is also in chat tonight, but he's back at work now, back off the coast of Africa somewhere. We all met up one day last week, might have been Thursday, for sunrise at Howick bathing house, and shot the sunrise, and we got about 2 minutes of light. So don't expect fireworks from that video when it comes out. But an enjoyable morning. Always a good crack to see fellow landscapers out there and fellow YouTubers as well, as Paul and David are. So it was good to spend a few hours with them. Again, like I say, the sunrise wasn't great, but you've just got to make do. So we'll go for that. Yeah, right. So enough of me waffling. We had enough of that on Saturday's video, and we will crack on. So basically, the bathing house at Howick is quite a distinctive building. I don't think I've actually got a detailed shot of it here. But basically it's a very nice, just individual house, cottage type of thing, right on the shorefront. Used back in the day as like a bathing house for the Howick estate. Lord Grey, not a different type of Grey, Grey with an E, not a Grey with an A like mine. No relative. Lord Grey, I think Earl Grey tea originated from the Greys of Howick. So they little fountain of knowledge, mind full of bullshit. So anyways, they had this bathing house right on the shore, not far from the main big house, which they went to paddle in the sea and all that kind of stuff. It's basically a lovely little house. It is now currently a holiday cottage, which you can rent. I have actually stayed the night in it before. It's very noisy because of the sea, obviously. But it's a lovely scene, often shot, brilliant at sunrise. And so I did my usual wafty thing, bit of ICM, and you can just see here in this one we did get a couple of minutes of light, just enough, which you can just see the house is actually lit there, as opposed to here where it was. Come here, forgot that. As you can see, at that point there was no light being cast. So you know, like we basically got 2 to 3 minutes of light being cast, which I think David got a decent shot. Paul was too busy flying his drone. So if you search out David's Facebook or Instagram, you will probably get to see a proper version of it. Definitely on Facebook. Anyway. I have used the bathing house before. Yes. I've an old image I've used for the bathing house before, so it is quite a well, even my version of it's quite well known. I've done a few actually. I just haven't done it for a while. Inverting for spot removal tool is basically in Lightroom here in the develop module. This button here is spot removal, or the Q button, as I can see from the prompt there. Click that button, and along here, down underneath the image, where it says visualize spots, there's a tick, so you can show or hide the spots. Because it was so dark, then these were shot at f4. I think most, if not all of them were. Just so obviously dust spots aren't going to be an issue today, which is always nice. Good to see you, David. Yes, you came up. Was it last year, but the year before for a session with me? We had a lovely lovely day apart from the weather in the morning, which I remember being horizontal hail. So not wasn't conducive. Yeah, no problem at all. Devlin Tube. That's a good name. Good name. So yeah, just a simple thing. Usually, as soon as I've clicked that, it's always set on, so I know what I'm doing. Right then, so no dust spots to clean today, which is always nice, so we can ignore that step today. Right, so what I want to do is have a quick pick through which ones I'm going to use. I am probably going to start with a darker image. I have already been through and picked out one possibles. And I might eventually do a second one where there was a little bit of light being cast on the house. That one looks quite nice. I'm just going to give these ones a 2 rating so I know where they are. Liking that one as well. You might be able to say I'm liking the washed out ones today. But as a contrast, put that one in. I think that one as well. We've got this nice streak of sky, which obviously is in the wrong position for sky, but we got that sliver of orange on the horizon. That's what we've got for there. Yeah, we can probably go with those. Bit of a mixture. Give that one 2. So we'll start with these 5. Let's just select these. We know where we are at. Obviously we need to do a processing to start. Get that head start. Obviously because it's quite, because this was shot pre-dawn, kind of blue hour-ish. So there's not a lot of colour, so we do need to whack up the vibrancy and the saturation a bit. Maybe. Do I go for blue? Yeah, let's go run with the blue hour preset. The blue hour look of it. Open up the shadows a touch. Let's brighten that sky a bit as well, otherwise it's going to get a very dirty, mucky kind of look by the time we get well through the processing. Excellent, Dave. It'll be good to see you again. Hope you are all well down there. Might even be heading to Norfolk myself next year. There is discussions afoot about visiting Norfolk. I'm just going to reduce the clarity and texture a bit just to soften it out a little bit. Obviously just going to keep that, the important bit about this image is going to be the outline of the house. Vibrance and saturation up a bit. So just knocking that saturation up is really punching that orange, which is kind of what I'm looking for. Excuse me while I click my fingers. I'm sure that'll freak a few of you out. Can I do me? Can you hear that? Destined to be arthritic later in life. Just going to ease the blues away to about there. Actually, I might just try to redden this orange up as well. So just using the HSL section and bring that to a deeper orange rather than a red. Something like that, just to give it a, that line that's going to be there. Give it some kind of clarity. Right, I am actually also going to put in a graduated filter, but I'm going to lift, instead of it like you darken it down, I'm going to lift the bottom half of the image, just kind of roughly along that line. Kind of see what that's going to do. It's like roughly half a stop, just to bring more of that waves, the breaking waves on the rocks there. That'll be excellent, Dave. Yeah, I'll probably come in with the lads for 4 or 5 days. But yeah, I'll let you know nearer the time when I know roughly what's going on. Right, lens corrections obviously, which we always do. That'll obviously lighten the image as well. Detail, get the noise reduction, flatten that image out a bit. And I think that's probably a reasonable starting point. Maybe drop a darker grad filter across the sky so it doesn't get too away with itself. Something like that. See how that looks. And then we'll just sync it across all the other images that we've chosen, and hopefully none of them are too terrible. I have a feeling I might need to scale back on the colour a bit. No, actually they're not too bad. So there you go. Right, we've got those 5 prepared. We'll now stick these into Photoshop. And see how it goes. Just wait while my incredibly slow computer renders these out. Merges them together. It's not even trying to like align layers. All it's doing is just opening the 5 images up in the same one. Takes forever. You'll see the numbers dropping on my frame rate as well. I used to push these out at 60 frames a second. I don't know why. I am not playing games like the gamers. So I've now adjusted it to 25 frames a second, which is much more reasonable for a live stream, I think. Right, we are ready. So as per usual, we will just select all layers, start playing around in blend modes, see what it's all going to do. Obviously, in the last few weeks, I've been using multiply a lot in the live stream because I've started off with very light images. Multiply today is not going to be an option because it's just very dark. So these 5 here, where they deal with like the darker blend modes, are going to be pretty much useless. So we're going to be looking at the lighter blend modes. Obviously lighten is a possibility. Screen we might be able to do something with, but maybe with less layers, or less opacity. We might start with something a bit more washed out. So we might be looking at something like overlay. Well, there is a few dust spots there. I can see now that everything's really dark. I'll just look at these. So overlay is probably a bit much, and there's a lot of that magenta of the blue hour coming through. Not really that happy about that. Lightens a bit much. Screen. Quite like that streak of orange, but we'll have to work with that. We might have to change blend mode, like just build the image up. So I think to just get things layered together, I'm just going to use soft light because I can see one layer's out of adjustment. You can see one here. Just knock these. Happens to be the top one. That's handy. We will just drag that across. That's in, you know, so it's roughly in line. Check that. So by moving that layer, you can see how much it's changed. You know, beforehand it was all the way over there. Hold on, done something. Yeah, it was on soft light. Forget what I've just said there in the last 10 seconds. I'm talking out my ass. It's because all the other layers were at soft light. I thought everything was at lighter colour. So we've still got a lighter colour. Lighting is there. I would like to do something quite light and airy. So let us start with a screen, and I'm just going to knock out layers to see what we have. Again, this is just experimenting all the time. No, the phone's on, Paul. You never know, it might ring whenever you want, when you least expect it. Obviously this is just too light, no definition around the house. So screen I don't think is going to be an option, unfortunately. Let us try lighting again. See which layers are affecting it the most. Obviously these two. I would like to go quite abstract. I'm saying abstract. Get away from reality quite a bit with these ones. I'm actually going to move this layer up to there. And then we've got the three darker layers together. Maybe we could do something with these. I'm just having to take a bit of playing around with to get orders right in my head. Excuse me. Because the problem is we've got one of those little lines between light and dark along here, and it's above the house, so you're losing the outline of the house. So what you want to do is maybe these bottom two layers, if we could drag these down to see where those layers kind of come into, which you can see there. And then play around with the other layers to see where they interact. They're not doing anything either. Oh, problems. So I am liking it up to there. I would like a bit more definition on the house. So I may need to change the blend mode for this top one to something else. Maybe it's not that layer because it's got a bit of a, I was going to say it's got a bit of a thing. It's like the house is quite almost like a double exposure on it. So let us look at another one. So we could bring this one in and align it better there. That's better. So all we need to do is, I think, is that the one I turned off? Yeah, that one. I think, because we just want a little bit more definition there, but forget about the foreground. We want a mask on that one. Just a simple graduated gradient, a graduated gradient, that's what it is. Just a simple black and white gradient on a mask, so black reveals, black reveals, white hides, and then just get it to the point where I've got just enough of the of the house shown, and even in the sky we can get, what's better, yeah, get rid of some of that up there. See which ones need work. That one, mask that one. I just want the get the edges away from there, so mask these out. There you are. Getting a bit more of a foreboding sky in the distance there. Just going to mask that edge out as well, which is that one. Keep the canvas large because we've only got a small sensor camera, and then we can just trim in from the right there to that crop mark there. Tick. Confirm that. And then we've got our red streak there on the left hand side. We've got our ghostly foreground, and we've got like the dawn sky in the up above, and I think that'll probably be a reasonable starting point. But I will add in a curves adjustment layer because I just want a bit more, not really light, I want a bit more. What do I want? What do I want? I just want a bit more something. I want a bit more. Get rid of that curves adjustment. I was wanting those light streaks to be a bit stronger. I want them to be a bit stronger. So, what can I do to do that? I can maybe group everything together. So I could do a merge layer, and then multiply hard light. Be good if it would just merge that, just that. Just them red bits. See, this is the time when my limited knowledge of Photoshop kind of lets us down. Means I can't be doing exactly what I want to do without it affecting everything else. Could go there, and then right brain, select color range. Well, let's try this to see if it works. Something like that. Hopefully this is gonna work. Okay, select mask. There we go, there we go, we did it. Thanks Paul, just to start. So we've got that stronger line, the stronger lines in on the left, which I'm leaving in the vain hope that they will have do something to the image. But we'll wait and see. So yeah, that's increased the saturation nicely of them. Happy with that. More curves adjustments. Let's have a play with those. Let's get rid of what I've already done already. Just pull down on a bit of an S curve and push that up. Yeah. I think I'm going for a more washed out, just a hint kind of feel of things. Right, I'll just have to do I want to add colour? Do I want to add in or take away? Go subtle. Colour swatch, that blue. Drop in that colour. Probably not going to work how I want. Something like that. and we want to put in retain. That needs to be inverted, doesn't it? Invert. Yeah. How do you invert a mask? There we go. That's how you do it. You bring up the proper dialogue box. So there you go. So I just giving that a more of a, like the overall scene, a bit more of a subtle kind of blue hint, but inverted the mask so it retains that vivid streak. It's still very limited Photoshop knowledge, Peter. I only know kind of bits and pieces. Right, I'm going to clean up them dust spots because they're annoying me. Actually, I'm going to reduce the opacity of this a bit. Bring in just a little bit more magenta. Right, so yeah, dust spots. So just group those layers. Do a merge layer or whatever it's called. And then make that a bigger spot. Zoom in a bit so I can see. Picked it out. There was another one. Where is the little beastie? Would that be it there? Hold on, there's a trick. There's a trick to do it. Curve, invert it, and then you can probably see from there where the little blighters might be. And it's not showing now. There was definitely two before. Might be there. My eyes are failing me. Right, yeah, something like that. That'll do. We can get rid of that curves adjustment because that was just to be able to see the dust spot. And yeah, let's go with that. So, step one complete. And we'll go into Analog Effects Pro now and see what happens from there. Apple? We don't use apples around here. Don't have that kind of money. Closest I get to an apple is the apple tree outside, which they're just about ready. I did try my first one yesterday. It was a little bit bitter. Right. I'm suddenly not convinced this is going to do much. So I want to retain some colour, and I want those streaks to do something weird. And looking at my infinite possibilities of presets, there's not much happening. Battery's running low. Excuse me if I don't see your chat. Just having to plug in and the screen goes immediately dark. And I can't run a chat box on this PC because Chrome just kills it. Right, a couple of these looked interesting. Looked interesting at a distance. Something like that could work, couldn't it? Something along those lines, but maybe with a different colour palette. Looks way better on the other screen here. The one time ever my second screen looks better than the first screen, which means I might need to really ramp up the colour on it. So another look at this one as well. There's another one, another extreme one. Come on, catch up. Computer's coming to a grinding halt. There we go. I think it's catching up. It's not, it's stuck. Let's try a different preset. Something like that. Keep the exposure quite low. Basic adjustments, saturation's up, contrast needs to be up, detail extraction is have that quite high-ish. Brightness wants to be about 0. Increases saturation. I just like that continuation of those red streaks going right across the image, but maybe not like that. Right, back to plan 1. I think my presets for these are for the blue hour type of stuff don't really help. I'm kind of more cut out for the warmer tones. Nice to change things up though. So where's our yellow one? Is it that one? It might have been this one that we were working on before. Was it? I'm confusing myself again. Where's that streak gone? There we are. Well, that's quite different for me. So, knock off the lens vignette. Bring the contrast back up. Not that far. Maybe about there. What I'm looking to do is retain as much vibrance in the in these streaks of colour. Yeah, we're gonna have to leave the detail extraction down. Lens vignette off. Come here. Or can we position that so it'll affect things more? Find a happy place somewhere. Something like that. Hi Nick. Yeah, I'm not really sure. It's just really looking to make use of that line and getting the colour right. I think position. I'm happy with the positioning there, and it's now about starting to balance the image up. I would like everything to be a lot lighter, but obviously bringing up the brightness or bringing up the exposure then kills out the colour, you know, the vivid colour. Like knock off film effect, and I'll knock off levels and curves. So that brings the blue back. Let's just play around with levels and curves. So let's zero that out back to what it was. Let's bring that. Of course, what I can do later on is just lighten that top half in Photoshop or Lightroom to kind of match in the base. Obviously lightening it's starting to affect that streak of red. If in fact it is red, it's more of a pink. Or you can just go for a lot of contrast and keep that strength. I think it is a bit too blue. Bring in some bit more yellow. Obviously reducing the blue, you know, the negative of blue is yellow. Oh, the negative of cyan, or cyan, or whatever you want to call it, is yellow. So we can introduce more of that. And we're not losing really that much of, you know, the vividness of the reds. So I do want to keep it kind of half dawn-like. So I do want to kind of keep it a bit on the bluer side of things. So a bit of green. Pull the green out. Just want to boost the reds a bit. Before, after, before, after. Before, after. It is going to be a bit of a balancing act. Just to keep them streaks in the image. Always plan to do more out and about with the camera, just finding the time. I did shoot a lot of B-roll whilst I was doing these, on this shoot. So that might be a quick 5-minute video. It might never see the light of day. I think I've got one other one lined up, but still needs edited and stuff. So my intention through the end of summer into the autumn is to do a lot more out and about, but still always be doing these on a Tuesday when I can. So yeah, just keep an eye out on the channel. Right, is that blue enough? Always have nagging doubts about these things. I'm not going to say I'm going to call it quits, but I'm going to confirm those, get them back into Photoshop. Let's see what happens with it. Right. Yes, I did shoot a little bit of footage of myself wafting the camera around, but it was mainly Paul and David what I was shooting off. Paul flying his drone around, and the scene and time lapses and all that good stuff that it was one of them days where it's like I need to shoot more B-roll, and then got to the end and like, I haven't spoken to camera yet. So it was a bit of a washed out. strong, washed out, strong. Could mask some of this in. Go there. Just a little levels adjustment. Zoom out so I can see the bloody edges. Something about there actually might look decent. I'm not too fussed about, you know, the house being lost. Quite happy with just the hint of it there. Not bother about that. Well, that's just causing bloom by moving that too much. Well, this is just experimenting with sliders and seeing where things can go. So yeah, let's have that about there. A bit of hue and saturation just to see what the effects will be. Yeah. I think I might adjust the hues of these, so the red's just going to increase, push them towards red rather than away, you know, away from the magenta into actual red. Yeah, something like that. Still looks way better on my second screen, much more vivid. Very annoying. Let us. That levels might just have to scale back a little bit. So instead of going out and going back in and adjusting the levels, just adjust the opacity. Just a smidgen. Because obviously when you start viewing the image further away, it'll actually get darker. So you can kind of tune the eyes, which is what I do when I print, before I print, is, you know, zoom the image right back here. Imagine if you're looking at a print on the wall from distance, and then you can adjust the brightness to suit. So I'm reasonably happy with that. There's something I'm just gonna try to warm it up a touch more, and I'm actually, for a change, gonna try a photo filter. So we'll get like a warming filter there. The density control. Obviously that's going to be too much. I'm thinking I might even just use that in the top half, and then like a coolant filter on the bottom half. Would that work? Who knows? We're here to find out. We're here to try. I am not sure if it is possible with it. I'm sure it is. All these stabilisation gimbals on drones. ICM with a drone. I think multiple exposures would be good with a drone. But actual getting them to just let it actually shoot images with an ND filter over a longer bit of time. I did have a friend who ran a drone company for a bit, and they offered to, because they had like these massive octo, you know, the ones with 8. I was going to call them wings. 8-bladed things, industrial size drone that you could, you know, strap a TV camera to. They were like shooting with Canon 5D Mark 3s, 4s or whatever. They said, oh, we'll have to go out sometime and, you know, see what you can do with it. And then eventually they closed the business down, so that decision, that opportunity went by, unfortunately. Right, just want to cool off that foreground just a bit. Let's see how bad my idea is. It's the other wrong way around. Something like that. Bit of split it half and half, so it's a bit cooler with obviously the waves washing in on the surface. I don't know whether it's kind of lost its lost its context a bit, lost its story, I don't know. I don't think the movements, the lack of movement would be the... because they're still... I've seen long exposures done with a drone of like the sea coming in. But it's still, you know, the actual drone's static because it just stays in place no matter where you chuck at it. So, well, I don't know. Then you'd have to control it with bloody fiddly knobs, and I'm terrible on the Xbox, so I think I'd be terrible at flying a drone. Right, do I like this or not? I'm not convinced. Let's turn off some of these layers and have a think. Looks good there. No, I think definitely with them lines on the going right the way through is the way forward. I think maybe some of the later stages of these edits have been a bit of a waste of time. I think I didn't need to do any of those photo editings on the hue and saturation, because the hue and saturation changed them reds, didn't it? And then down this end, actually I could leave them in but just let it affect the top right hand corner, because if you see down here, when I turn them off they go a bit more red. Where I've got them on, those lines are pretty yellowy. But the red up here was spot on. So we're on the masking again. Nice and simple, just like that. There we go. Problem solved. So I think, seeing as it's nearly an hour up, I think that's probably as good as we're gonna get tonight. Is that noisy? It doesn't really matter about noise, does it? I quite like that. Nice and loose. Maybe a bit better if these clouds weren't so dark. We can try lightening those up a bit. Pull that up there. You can really lighten them up so far. I think you would have to stand and then start playing around with, because you're changing the darkness. You'd have to rebalance colour tones and all that kind of mess. It could get messy. Say the tones are spot on when it's at its original. You lighten it, you kind of got blues into greens. Not really working. So I think that's not really a go. Yeah, just have to do with that one right. We can get rid of those unused layers and kind of finish up with that. Let's try a few crops in Lightroom. So just save that out. Wait an age for this to get back to Lightroom, and that'll be that. Thank you very much. Hopefully you've enjoyed it so far tonight. Shake some dust off the camera there. Come on, 32%. Slow as a house, this computer. 46, 47, 48. While still that's going on, if you haven't already, I'd imagine most of you in here will have already. I do have my Analog FX Pro 2 presets available to buy. 27 presets to get you a good head start on making the, playing around with these images. I use them all the time. Very rarely I'll reinvent the wheel, so I just use them lots and lots and lots. Right, oh yeah, we were going to do Lightroom, weren't we? So, develop module 3. Laptop one's plugged in again. Right, crops, and not the wheat and barley type. So create virtual copy, crop tool. I'm thinking of like a panoramic kind of thing. So my 9x5 crop, which I use a lot. Everything goes corner to corner, nice and easy. Not bad at all. Create a new one. Let us look at a square for Instagram, maybe. That looks actually having that. Yeah, I mean the horizon line's a bit middle for diddle kind of thing, and then it's just a case of getting that sweet spot. Not there, obviously. Do you want the getting that solid line there. Do you want it solid as well? Just a bit of personal taste, something like that. Works reasonable. Try another one. Always trying to get as many as I can, because you never know. Let us try a 4x5 portrait though. Yeah, it's a bit, stay out of the dark. Had the house been a bit further over there, but then again, to get a portrait out of this, I could just go back in and just move that section along at a later date. Obviously not right now. So that's a possibility of one. There, but move the foreground and the house to maybe that line there. Done. Create a virtual copy. Let's see if we can get a 3x2, which was what we started out with really, but with a slightly better crop. Yeah, come here. Because that's the original one, which is just a little bit off. Something like that. It's not too bad actually. Take that out so I can see. Yeah, 4x5 portraits for Instagram I do find work quite well. Do like them. So yeah, quite no. So we've got what, 4 crops out of that one. 3x2, 4x5. Once I realign things to get away from the centre. 1x1 works quite nicely. Probably my best bathing house image is 1x1, and a similar composition, just without the red streaks. It's like a very pale blue and white kind of image, which I made a good few years ago now. Still regarded highly in my collection. There will be a copy in a box somewhere. I may dig it out for you next week. It's probably on my website though. It will be on my website amongst my earlier stuff. And a nice panoramic kind of looking one. So yeah, I'm quite happy with them. Done alright. And that's an hour done, so that's always a good point to wrap things up. So yeah, thank you very much for watching tonight. Hopefully you've learnt a little bit more. Hopefully, well, you know, and delved more into my weird and wonderful brain and how it can get frustrated and get lost halfway through an image and somehow cobble something together later in an act of desperation. But yeah, if you've enjoyed it, please do, and if you're not already, please do subscribe to all the bits down below my name, below me there, along the top. There'll be links and stuff in the description as well. Check out the Thomas Heaton video if you haven't already. Not sure when the next video will be out. It'll probably be, I don't think there'll be anything until next Tuesday, unless I manage to do a deconstruct video, which I might. We'll see how time ticks on. Yeah, might have a go at that if I can get through my workload this week. No worries, Kangaroo. Always a pleasure to, I was going to say, divulge all these secrets. Thank you very much, Dave. Yeah, I think just balance-wise, I think the panoramic one works best. You know, you can get that horizon line's a bit closer to that lower third, and it's not slap bang in the middle like the others are. One of the problems with ICM is generally everything you shoot ends up being right bang in the middle of the frame, and then you have to kind of crop around it and reposition, and it's a bit of a pain. But we get there in the end with something reasonable. So yeah, that's going to do it. I'm going to waffle on and waffle on and waffle on. So yes, thank you very much for watching. Please do leave a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Leave a comment. Comments are great. Comments help loads. And if you've got any feedback to give me as well, do leave a comment as well on pretty much any video. I read them all. I'll try to reply to most if I can. Yeah, if you enjoyed it, share it on your social medias and all that kind of stuff. That'd be grand. So yes, I am waffling again. So until next time, keep hard. See ya.